Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another sort of Convallaria video, and today I am making a video with two goals in mind. Goal one being I know the sort of Convallaria development team actually watches my content, and I read a Reddit post, but that's kind of hard to say. I read a post on Reddit that was so good that I literally am going to make a YouTube video to hope that this idea is somehow captured in the game. And when I go over it, it's not even that crazy of an idea. This person, Rowan Greywolf, had an idea. Rowan Greywolf says, with the amount of content requiring different characters with different gear and skills and an absolutely massive overlap with many top tier characters being run in all of these different comps, please give us a team loadout builder. And I was like, oh my gosh, this right here would solve like a massive amount of the issue that I have in terms of like time commitment to pushing content in this game. And then Rowan here just keeps nailing it, He says, being a new dad who works 40+ hours a week, I have very little free time. Yep, I feel you on that one. And I've realized that I spent most of my free time gearing up for content such as weapon trials or Fool's Journey instead of playing the content. And I was like, OMG, this person not only gets me, but I can tell you guys, like, I know what the demographic of people is who watch my videos, and I can tell you that a lot of you out there are like me, middle-aged dudes, some middle-aged chicks, but the majority of my content is middle-aged guys. We have jobs, we have families, we don't have time to be messing around in menus, to be constantly tweaking things, and in fact, that's often a big turnoff for us. But the idea that none of these buttons on the bottom of the screen are a team builder button is actually kind of crazy. And I'm going to jump over to a different tactical strategy RPG gotcha game, War of the Visions. It is 4+ years old now. It's past its prime, but this game has a formation button in it. And not only that, like, I'm going to go a little bit deeper here. This would help sort of Convallaria so much. Like, you go into the formation screen. Now, one thing War of the Visions doesn't have is a PC client, and you can see the emulator being really good, as emulators do. So sort of Convallaria has so many edges over an old game like War of the Visions, but it just lacks this. Look, I can build teams for quests. I can build teams for PvP. I can build teams for guild content. I can build teams for multiplayer content. I can set up friend units for people to take. Like, I can come in here and do all the tweaking that I need and then save that tweaking. And that's the big deal. Like, here's a dark team that I run. And then not only that, like I said, I'm going to take this a little bit deeper. With the weapon engraving system right now, there is a trust stone system in sort of Convallaria where you take these stones and you put them on people, right? You can copy and paste these from unit to unit without having to delete them, without losing what you have. And a big issue that I'm finding myself having in sort of Convallaria right now, and I'll jump back over there, is I'm finding it a little bit difficult to pull the trigger on engraving all of my weapons. And I know I can redo the engravings, but I don't have a ton of the material. And I'm like, well, what if I want to run Senator Shortsword? Swiftsword's a great one. What if I want to run this on a DPS, even if I think it is a little bit better for a tank? Am I really willing to commit this to a magic resist piece of gear or a magic resist set? And I think it would be very nice to not have to commit it, to just say, I can make a magic resist team template, and I can use that in weapon bosses, things like that. And then I can apply that template to other characters, or, just copy and paste it around, because having to build your team from scratch every time is kind of rough. Especially a lot of the weapons in this game, like take melee mega crossbow, has a really weird ability on it. It's definitely not like generically a great thing. Minimum rage -1, but increases damage by 16%. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like that's kind of cool. And for each one additional tile away from the target, you lose damage. So like, there's units where I could see this being good, but there's definitely maps where it's not good, and there's definitely fights where that's not what you want to have. So if I could, especially at the late game stages, when we're actually able to farm, like we're actually able to hop in to Crossing Worlds and farm eventually like Radiant Forging stage 10, we're not going to be swimming in those like legendary engraving materials, and it costs a bunch of gold to do those engravings over and over again. I don't want to worry about that. I feel like that is an unnecessary concern. And then the poster, like OP, and we can throw back to this Reddit post, Rowan over here just nails it. Like, I think he nails the demographic for what this game is. 40, a new dad working a full-time job and having a family is so many of us. Or a mom working a full-time job and having the family. I don't feel like the target audience for this game is 19-year-olds in college with 12 hours a day to play games. Those guys are playing other stuff. A draw of gacha games for so many of us that play is the fact that a lot of days we can play for 20 or 30 minutes and not fall behind people who can grind all day. It's one of the reasons like World of Warcraft has not been successfully remade since the 2000s. People in my generation who like grew up on MMOs, who played them in high school and college, we understood there was a massive time commitment to that. We, in many cases, myself included, threw our whole lives into chaos, and I'll call it inefficiency, to be able to grind in an MMO. I was like top tier raider in EverQuest 2. Rest in peace. I mean, I know that game's still going, but like, man, I wish that game had taken over instead of World of Warcraft. But anyway, we were like first people into zones. It took 15 hours a day. It just took 15 hours a day of grinding, and I loved it. My life now is full of different things. Children, family, jobs. I'm making money now instead of dropping out of school because I'm playing MMOs. But this is a feature of gacha games. It is a feature of mobile games. This smaller time commitment, but still being able to make progress. And many of us are willing to supplement that time commitment with money even, but give us some convenience. And I just think that Rowan Greywolf right here just nailed it. Like, some version of what he's posting right here. Oh my God, there's my light turning off again. It just does that sometimes. Some version of what he's posting right here would go such a long way to making this game more enjoyable. And it's such a great game. I would just hate to see it fall off because people get burnt out for like dumb preventable things, like not having a team template building area. I think that would be a pity. Okay, guys, that's it. That's this whole video today. I just saw that Reddit post and I thought it was so good that I wanted to just make a video on it. Because I've been talking a lot lately about things I think the game could do to improve. Should have had this on my list. Absolutely should have had this on my list, but I just didn't even think about it. Okay, thank y'all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I want to take just a minute, and I'll put myself full screen in dark mode, which honestly, this doesn't look terrible. I'm like looking at my screen capture right here. I want to give a shout out to the Sword of Convallaria Reddit in general. Reddit, for a lot of games that I've played, is a place I actively avoid. Like, there's good content ideas on Reddit for content creators, but in many games, there's so much negativity on the Reddits, and I just, again, don't have time in my life to be filling it with people who hate a game but are still hate playing it, or whatever so many Reddits turn into. The Sword of Convallaria Reddit has been a good place to visit. Like, I've actually enjoyed visiting it at work. Maybe I shouldn't be visiting Reddit at work, but I do sometimes. It's been a nice place to go hang out, and so I'm happy to highlight another good Reddit post here. And I just want to give the Sword of Convallaria Reddit and the team over there a shout out for doing such a good job. That's it. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I will catch you next time. Peace.